Раз. Здравствуйте, уважаемые коллеги.
Hello, dear colleagues. I would like to welcome all of you once again. Thank you very much for joining us today at our project presentation to investors. So, in the framework of corporate talks, we were selecting projects for a few months that would be represented to you today. I would like to start from introducing our distinguished investors and their members of jury. Nikolai Pahomov, the chairman of the Laboratory of Applied Engineering, Thomas Paskepart, partner from Greenland. Oleg Neretin, head of SciTech Center of the Federal Institute of Industrial Property, Konstantin Sinyushin, co-chairman and one of the owners of Ventures, Tomchuk Dmitry, executive director of Peri Foundation, Yelena Alexandrova, the head of Business Chain Platform, Ruben Pagbun-Chan is the partner from EP Labs. We are expecting two more members of the jury. I would introduce them when they would join us. A little bit about our format. We will today have 9 projects. We will give 7 minutes for presentation for each of the project and 5 minutes for Q&A. Next project is Joys. A few months ago, a friend of mine living in St. Petersburg posted on Facebook, writing, "I need rubles urgently. Who is ready to buy a share of my Bitcoin to 100%?" And he needed this money to buy air tickets to Moscow. And he got a lot of comments when people who are earning in cryptocurrency were encountering this. Right then, I wrote, "I don't need Bitcoin, but I'll do something better for you." Good afternoon. My name is Andrey. I am introducing Joys project. We'll be talking about cryptocurrency payments. Please raise your hand those who at least once paid by cryptocurrency for a good or a service. And who did this in the countries where cryptocurrency is not a valid payment mean? There were very few hands raised. Indeed, it's a challenge today, using cryptocurrency to pay for either good or service. May I have the next slide? There are a number of projects that are resolving this challenge, and you also have Talkbank, who will be presenting on a similar aspect. These projects are in different sub-areas, such as interbank transborder payments, up to the payments for various legal entities. There are plenty of such projects. You see them on slide, but majority of them have a number of problem areas. The first and the main one is in the legal aspect. As we know, in majority of countries do not allow the use of cryptocurrency, thus the use is illegal. Second problem area is that many solutions on the market, which are on the market, are having limited functionality for retail applications. And the third one is that to accept the cryptocurrency, retail players must either get extra equipment or have created a payment card. Joys is resolving this problem, which is why we created this. It's a payment service that allows to use cryptocurrency to make payments for goods and services in offline real-life shops and do this legally. How did we do this? It's both simple as well as complex. We have, on the simple side, we have created the processing that allows for the processing within a milliseconds. The person is coming to the shop. He's choosing the cryptocurrency he would like to use for payments. She showed the identifier that is created for a specific transaction. He pays. Speaking about Russia, Russian shops are selling for rubles and are paying taxes. The person is paying cryptocurrency and gets his good or service. The shop sold the service or a good and got rubles. The state got the allocated the defined share of taxes. Joys gets commission. Investors are getting raised interest to the Joys system. And I didn't mention that every transaction in this system, be it Ethereum, Bitcoin, or whatever, we are taking transaction in Joys. If the person is paying in Joys, we do not charge our commission. First one is a simple side. Now let us go into the number of complex elements. We are creating our own infrastructure. About 25% of all cash registers in Russia already have our module. We are building in our API into every cash register, 10% in the CIS countries, and 50% of fuel station in Germany, in thousands of other countries in Europe, mainly hotels, restaurants, predominantly in Europe, use this. This is already a good foundation to launch the project and get to the goal we set, which is to be in every cash register around the world. To implement the project large scale, we need about 140 million US dollars. Calculations are showing us that by the end of 2019, monthly Joys turnover will be about 13.6 billion units. At the moment, we are bringing 5.5 billion of our coins, which will create a relatively good demand. And in line with the analysts, our consultants for the project, our coin exchange rate will raise to one to one with US dollars. That's if we talk about ICO, because maybe we are not as a classical project that we are being discussed because it was packaged as ICO, but it's possible to come into the project as a venture investor. This is it for me. We believe that the market will be growing rapidly, and now is the time to create infrastructure project, invest and earn money. Join Joys. Thank you for the presentation. Let us move to questions. For those who have. Okay. Thank you. You said a lot about the algorithm, about the using of ICO, of getting the money from the market. But what service are you offering to the market? Are you giving an exchange service? Are you in an emission center that is creating some value for either shops or the users? How your algorithm is generating the value for users? At the moment, about 900,000 people are a part of crypto economy. Majority of them perceive cryptocurrency as an investment, but there are already many who are earning in cryptocurrency, and they have the need to pay. To get fiat money, they are forced to use very long cycle, going to cryptocurrency, moving this to their US dollar or Russian ruble accounts, and this transition is expensive and long. This is the kind of audience we are making our project for. And who are your clients? Are they the consumers? They are not seeing this as a good. What is expensive, what is challenging for the consumer, and what's challenging for the seller? The main challenge is for the consumer because it's expensive for them. For the seller is just a new segment of buyers who are able to pay with the cryptocurrency or not, because I had similar challenge with the bank cards some years ago. Look, people are not accepting card or not. They are accepting fiat money, the legal money, and that money should be earned somehow in the marketplace. So my question that is still unclear is, where is the value of your project? Okay, let me reiterate. There are the market players, the individuals who are earning their money in cryptocurrency, and they need to have a payment mode to buy bread or milk or whatever with this. Okay, they have a need. They got this coin, which we don't know whether it is certified by some sovereign players in the framework of their certification centers. And obviously, they would like to exchange this cryptocurrency for something. Let's say they would like to buy a bottle of vodka for them. Why would the seller be interested in selling them this to the buyer? Look, you're making the first emission. You, of course, can present that money to the sellers. And how would you be developing your service? Look, the Joys is a transport for the key for using payment service. People are getting bitcoins and they're coming to the shops and paying in bitcoins. But to pay with a bitcoin or with a share of a bitcoin, you need Joys, because the commission is going into the Joys. It's a transport for a different cryptocurrency. It's a clear thing. So you're ending up having a processing center that is offering banking services, the exchange of cryptocurrency at the moment when cryptocurrency is being transferred into the fiat money. You're right. The question is, what jurisdiction are you beginning with? The cryptocurrency is going into a different jurisdiction, the Swiss jurisdiction. Then we are using the services of our payment partner, International Payment System 123, which is from Estonian jurisdiction. They have a banking license there. They are transferring it into euros, and through the banking system, the conversion is in rubles. And what would be the conversion share? For Russia, it's 5% at the moment. Why do you think it's cheap? Well, if we compare this with the processing of fiat money, this is expensive for the merchant, 2-3 times more expensive, but this is cryptocurrency. And as soon as legal procedures will start into operation. Okay, in Russia, it's possible to have on the spot exchange procedures at 3%. Well, you cannot be exchanging cryptocurrency in Russia. It's illegal. I'm talking about the existing deals. There are precedents. You are talking about it will be cheaper in the legal environment, but actually the rate is much higher. I'm talking about the possibility of conversion in Russia. What's the alternative in Europe? Are you talking about alternative in crypto? It's 2 to 3%. So in your case, it's more expensive. There are no alternative projects. If we are talking about the payment with cryptocurrency in Europe, which is also legal, it would be cheaper than in Russia. In Russia, once procedures will kick in, it will become clear and you'll be able to convert. In Russia, it will be cheaper, down to 2%. One more short question.
Right, well, everyone's been attacking you, but I'd like to praise this project. Now, there's one stroke of genius here, which I'd like to point out. Now, many of the people who talk the tales of cybercurrency don't focus on it, this integration into basic software. So I think we need to give them a round of applause for this wonderful idea.
К сожалению, ваше время вышло. И мы вынуждены...
Приглашаю вас всех на стенд веба. Мы там презентуем, как эта система работает, она уже запущена. Мы 3 дня, пожалуйста, подходите, расскажем. Спасибо.
Спасибо большое.